Ladies and gentlemen, we just got the 3rd ever episode of the COD Pod, aka the Call of Duty podcast. In other words, a means that they use to put out information to the community. Basically, there are 4-ish big things that happened within this Call of Duty podcast. We're going to cover all of them in this video, but focusing heavily on one of them. The first is Nuke Town actually got revealed, like completely revealed with a reveal date.
And then, of course, I can confirm that Nuke Town is coming.
It wouldn't be a Black Ops game
of course,
without Nuke Town.
Yeah, Nuke Town is coming.
Who thought? Who imagined that there'd be a Black Ops game without Nuke Town?
Yeah,
no one.
No,
like, at what point did anyone think, oh yeah, they won't? Nah, they've already done that.
So. No, we're super excited. And again, you know, there's been some teases out there. I know the community's talking about Nuke Town's going to come.
The second is official canon. They made things canon official, not just guessing in game. They came out and said that this is canon.
I don't know how much to spoil on that. Should we just
do it?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay.
They answered some questions in regards to weekly challenges in multiplayer.
Will there be weekly or seasonal challenge events similar to Modern Warfare 3?
And finally, they addressed Liberty Balls.
Has the Zombies team made any changes to Liberty Falls since we first saw it at COD Next?
So that is what we're going to be covering in this video, but starting off with the one that I focus most heavily on this channel, official canon. Essentially, they canonized 3 separate things within the Black Ops universe. 2 are incredibly simple. So number 1 is that Helen Park is making a return. I made a video on this. They kind of even acknowledged that I made a video on this. But yeah, Helen Park is making a return.
Helen Park, fan favorite in the Black Ops world, is an operator.
Yeah.
In
alive
the game.
and kicking.
She's
alive and kicking.
She's back. She's alive.
So that confirming she is alive.
Yeah.
We want to talk to you a little bit about.
So nothing huge on this one, but as far as this goes, what this does mean is that in the ending that is canon in Black Ops Cold War, Lazar dies because in order to save Park, you have to kill Lazar. Now, technically, we don't see him die, but by them saying this, that's essentially what they're saying. But again, there's always that chance in Call of Duty, if you don't see someone die, they may not be dead. But canon goes, we did save Park.
Bloody hell.
Going to lose a lot more than Lazar if we don't execute this next move correctly.
So then they also mentioned the ending of Black Ops Cold War as well, which this one shouldn't be a surprise to anyone.
Yeah, 100%.
That shuffled.
So, you know, when you talk about canon of Cold War, right, it's like, yeah, you know, Adler put a bullet in Bell, right, in that sense. And
so it's weird that he said put a bullet in Bell and not killed Bell. So again, they always leave things up for interpretation, but based off of everything else that they said, it does sound like Bell is dead. And on top of that, in another piece of kind of promotional material, they did put out something with a picture of Adler saying that he did assassinate a CIA agent gone rogue, of course referring to Bell. So yeah, Bell dying appears to be canon as well. Now, after the game ended in Black Ops Cold War, they had a whole post-campaign story or seasonal story, whatever you want to call it, and this is what they had to say about that.
And then the really cool thing that we really started with Cold War is like the post-launch storytelling. That story.
Yeah, so the live seasons, and especially in Warzone, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, how do you guys look at that? Is that canon? Is that, you know, how does it all work out?
So we were trying some new things in post-launch, and to us, that post-launch story that we did on Cold War is canon when we introduced Stitch.
So I thought this was obvious, but I'm still glad that they said it. This may mean other post-launch stories were not canon, but the Treyarch one was, and this makes me think that the post-launch story will once again continue with Black Ops 6. At least I hope so, because it was one of my favorite things about Black Ops Cold War. Then we got into the Black Ops 2 canon. In other words, Mason dying, Hudson dying, and they even discussed the future of the Black Ops, like the 2025 part of the Black Ops 2 story. And this is what they had to say.
And this is where we can say, and we're canonizing, this is where Woods killed Mason. He was tricked into killing his best friend Mason by, Raul Menendez, who kind of set up all this stuff in Panama. Huge moment, right? Woods is then again dealing with that. And again, it was really important for us to go back is...
So here's the big moment in the podcast, folks. We are talking about which of the endings in Black Ops 2, what really happened at the end of Black Ops 2 in terms of canon. We get to hear it straight from Treyarch.
So with Mason dead, we can't give it all away just yet, but obviously with Mason dead, that tells you a lot about
Yep.
which ending might have been canon. But I just want everyone to know is we have a canon ending. We're weaving through who survived and who didn't. And you might see them at some point in the future in different ways.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that was the longest way of answering a non-answer I have ever seen. They basically said that they have picked a canon ending for Black Ops 2. They stated that it involves Mason dying. So that kind of tells you where they're going with the canon ending for Black Ops 2. But also they are weaving in other characters in other places. So in other words, we can't actually know what the canon ending is yet because they either have to reveal something in Black Ops 6 or, like the rumors say, in Call of Duty 2025, next year's Call of Duty, it's going to be some sort of Black Ops 2 sequel that will fill in all the blanks as to what happened in 2025 and what the canon for Black Ops 2 actually was. Still, I strongly question Alex Mason being dead, especially when they gave us the story so far thing. Down in the description or after the video, there will be a video linked that is my explanation of how I think Alex Mason is still alive and how I think what they are saying here is not true. But I think what we will get out of Black Ops 6 is an explanation as to what that Black Ops 2 canon is. And once we do know, and once we see some maybe more characters like potentially Menendez return, I can give you a deeper explanation of what that canon ending for Black Ops 2 is, because at this point they did confirm that they have chosen a canon ending. The next part was Nuke Town, and obviously they revealed to us that Nuke Town is coming to Black Ops 6 on November 1st, so very, very shortly after launch, like literally like within the week of launch, which is really insane, really fast. And of course, this that you're seeing here is the video that they put out for that. So it seems so much like the original Nuke Town from Call of Duty Black Ops 1. But here's the thing, I don't think that it is, and I think a lot of people making videos about this are going to miss this, but this is what they said on the podcast.
I mean,
100%.
is it going to be a little? It's got to be a little 90s, or is it more? Are we more sort of?
Don't
Can I
answer
ask?
that.
So it's definitely...
Shut up!
The
Get out of town!
So the way that they say that, they make it sound like this teaser that they gave us is kind of like the original Nuke Town, and then the one that we're getting in Black Ops 6 actually looks nothing like that. It's some other theme of Nuke Town that we don't know. It was a very confusing way of putting it, especially after showing that teaser, and I'm not 100% sure what it actually means. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So while we're talking about non-answers, the next thing that we have is the multiplayer question that we were given about whether or not there is going to be weekly challenges in Black Ops 6.
Not necessarily. So for Black Ops 6, not necessarily weekly, but seasonal. Yes. So there will be seasonal event challenges. And speaking of rewards, the studio team is planning on working on something very, very cool that unlocks for these that you'll see in game throughout the year. So I'm not going to say exactly what those are, but I'll leave you with a little.
So in other words, there is not weekly challenges, and there won't be like conversion kits that you can unlock weekly. Doesn't sound like it, at least. But they did basically say that there's going to be seasonal challenges that unlock something. We just don't know what that something is yet. Then we get into the Liberty Falls question. Did Liberty Falls change after the feedback from Call of Duty Next?
Yes. Short answer, yes.
Next question.
The Liberty Falls that everyone saw at Call of Duty Next was work in progress, right? That map was still months away at the time from launch.
So basically what we learned here is that we didn't get to see the entirety of Liberty Falls. There was more that we could see with the Easter eggs. They say Easter eggs plural on this map that will change the mood of the map. They also told us that since Call of Duty Next, they have made the map more moody and they are making changes to the zombies HUD as a whole. They didn't say what those are, but they say that they are coming in a blog post later this week, next week, at some point before launch. In other words, a lot of the feedback that people have given for zombies has been addressed in one way or another, and we should be finding out about that around the corner today, tomorrow. In other words, sometime soon. So essentially, that was the biggest of the news that was covered in today's Call of Duty podcast. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you want to see the entirety of the podcast, I watched the whole thing live and put it up over on my second channel. That'll be linked down in the description as well as after the video. In fact, it's on screen right now. So you can either check out one of my videos from this channel or one of my videos from my second channel, as you're seeing there, which is the entirety of the Call of Duty podcast. All right, thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.